Hello. Thank you for joining me today for another exercise in Norwegian. I am once again using this book that I got from the library, so I won't be taking my notes in this book but use a separate sheet. Last time I said I wanted to work on grammar because I've mostly been using apps and they're good for building vocabulary, but they don't explain much grammar. So I started off with nouns and adjectives, and that's what I'm going to continue today. Last time we learned the two forms of the singular as well as the indeterminate plural. But one form was still missing, and that is the definite plural. So, for example, when I say the cars, bilene. The cars are big, bilene store. If I want to use the indefinite plural, it would just be sort of a general statement, cars are big, it would be biler store. Alright, so instead of adding ER, we add ENE. And that is true for all kinds of verbs. So that's good to know. We have, for example, when we look at the map, et kart, a map, kartet, the map, kart, maps, this is irregular, and kartene, the maps. Okay. So here we have a little overview that I will get back to later when I do my exercises. One thing that's important to remember is that there are adjectives that are irregular, such as small, liten. It has many different forms. You would say en liten bil, a small car. Den lille bilen, the small car. So liten, lille. But ett lite kart, a small map. Det lille kartet, the small map. So the definite form's the same, lille, but the indefinite form differs, liten and lite. I think you can remember it when you look at the N at the end here. If there's an N in the article, there's also an N at the end of the adjective. En liten bil. If the N is missing because there's a T, ett lite, the N's missing here too. Alright, and then the plural form is completely different. It's similar to the English word small, small. And this one doesn't change. Små biler, de små bilene. Små kart, de små kartene. So, this is important to remember. This is an irregular form. Now, let's have a quick look at this vocabulary here. There's different adjectives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we already know some of these. There's brun, brown, fin, fine, good, 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 yellow, hard, hard, that's easy to remember, long means long, pen, beautiful, sint, angry, søt, sweet, and tørst, thirsty. We already had this last time. Now, before we get into the exercises, here are some more exceptions that I should have a look at. So, usually in the neutrum, so words that have the it article, you would add a T at the end. However, if the adjective ends in sk, you do not add a T, such as engelsk, engelsk, engelske. Now, I think this is quite logical. It would be pretty much impossible to pronounce a T at the end here, engelskt. That doesn't work. So, it's norsk, norsk, norske. Adjectives that end in ig also don't get a T, such as kjedelig, kjedelig, kjedelige. Boring. So these two rules are similar. This one's a bit different. When you have an adjective with two consonants at the end, and again this is utrum, then they drop one of these consonants before the T. For example, you have grøn, green. You write it with two N at the end. But when you say grønt, you drop one of these N's. Alright, and then again there's some irregular forms, mostly adjectives that end in el, en, and er. Like old, gammel, gammelt, gamle. Or one that we had last time, hungry, sulten, sultent, sultne. I do remember this form because I got it wrong last time. And I think making mistakes is a really good way to learn and to remember things. Someone recently told me, it's a German expression, Fehler sind Helfer. So Fehler and Helfer are anagrams. Mistakes are helpers. And it's quite true. Alright, and then we have very beautiful, wunderschön, vacker, vackert, vakre. Right, and then some adjectives are just plain irregular, like blå, blått, blå, blue. Okay, so here again we have an overview with these exceptions. I'm gonna get back to this later when I look up the different forms. Right. I think first of all, let's try singular and plural. We have en trikk, That's the tramway. Trikken. And the plural forms are trikker and trikkene. We have et fly. That is the plane. Flyet. And the plural would be flyer and flyene. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing this correctly. I often hear the Y as like the German U, so et fly. But I've been told that's not actually what it is. I can't quite hear it yet, what it really is. I think I'll just take some time before I can pronounce this as it should be pronounced. And that's okay, I'm still a beginner. There's no rush. So, et tog. That's the train, or a train. The train would be toget. The plural is toger, and the trains is togene. Then we have en lastebil. So I guess this is a truck. It's similar to the German word Lastkraftwagen. Lastebilen. Lastebiler. And lastebilene. Just about. And the last one is en ferge, a ferry. So we have vergen. I don't think you have two E's here. I think you drop one E and just say vergen. And plural verger and vergene. Alright. Let's see if this is correct. Right, there's the dictionary at the end. And the solutions. We are in chapter 4. So it's trikken, trikker, trikkene, flyet. Okay, this appears to be irregular. It doesn't have an ending, just fly and flyene. Then we have toget. Again, irregular and togene. Lastebilen, lastebiler and lastebilene. And vergen with only one E. Verger and vergene. Okay, so these two Utrum words with the ET are irregular in the plural. Something to remember for next time. Now, we have the same exercise, but we are going to add some adjectives. We're starting with en god trikk. A yellow tram. We have let's see. Den gule trikken. So we add an E for the definite singular. Then we have gule trikker, yellow trams, and de gule trikkene. Alright, so in 3 of the forms you add an E at the end of the adjectives. Then we have et stort fly, a big plane. Let's see, where do we have stort? I think we need a T here, if I'm not mistaken. Det stort I think this drops the T. Det store fly et. And then plural would be store fly and det store flyene. Let's see if this is correct straight away. Not too sure about this. It's a bit tricky. So we have, where are we? Right, then gule trikken, that's okay. Gule trikker, that's also okay. And de gule trikkene. Alright. We have det with a T. Store with an E. Fly. Okay, guessed correctly. Then store fly. This is the irregular form. And de store flyene. Okay. So maybe I got the hang of it. Let's see. Et fint tog. So a fine train. Den fine toget. Ah, no, this is singular. Det fine toget. Then we have fine toger and de fine togene. En grønn lastebil, green truck. Then, so I think this keeps both N because we're having a word in the utrum, not in the neutrum. So it's probably then grønne lastebilen. My handwriting's not too good today. But that's okay, I'm thinking. And then plural would be grønne lastebiler and de grønne lastebilene. Alright, and last one. En god ferge. A good ferry. I think I've only been on a ferry twice in my life. In a landlocked country, so we don't have too many of these. I have been on a few boats, but smaller ones. So we have den gode fergen. Gode ferger and de gode fergen. Let's see if I got this right. So we've already looked at the first two. We're here. Det fine toget. Fine tog. Right, we already had this here. Now I'll remember. And de fine togene. Den grønne with 2N lastebilen. Grønne lastebiler and de grønne lastebilene. Den gode fergen. Gode ferger and de gode fergene. Alright. Not too bad. Next time I'll have to try without looking up the forms here in these overviews. Okay, I think I'm going to skip this exercise here. That's not too difficult, I think. I'm gonna try this one here. So this one tells you how to use the relative pronoun som, which means which. For example, jeg ser en student, han heter John. I see a student, he's called John. And if you use some, you can turn this into one single phrase. Jeg ser en student som heter John. So let's try it. Det er et stort hus. Det ligger i en grønn park. There's a big house. It's in a green park. Det er et stort hus som ligger i en grønn park. Det tar trikken. Den går til Frognerparken. Take the tram that goes to the Frognerpark. Det tar trikken som går til Frognerparken. Solen skinner på sjøen. Den er blå. Solen skinner på sjøen som er blå. The sun shines from the sky, which is blue. And Bente spiser mange reker, de er gode. Bente eats many These are, I think, prawns. They are good. Bente spiser mange reker som gode. Right, let's have a quick look. Right, so you don't have to change anything in the word order, you just omit the first word here of the second sentence and add som. That's not too difficult. And I think that's a good point to stop for today. I feel like this was easy, and that's a good way to stay motivated for the next time. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you soon.